From beautiful Lowell Park here in Cotuit, Massachusetts, the two top teams of each division in the Cape Cod Baseball League square off on the eve of another off day. It's the Cotuit Kettleers and the YD Red Sox meeting for the second time this season, the first here at Lowell Park. Luke West, Poley, Perri, Kitei alongside the YD team that gritted out a win yesterday. Perri, a strong pitching performance coming from Landon Beidel. She's followed by Matt Fernandez and Leighton Finley out of the bullpen. A 3-2 win over the Brewster Whitecaps, and a team that continues to rebound well coming off of losses this season.
Yeah, this team hasn't lost twice in a row since the first couple games of the season, Luke. And yesterday, it was really split up nicely. 3 pitchers, 3 innings apiece. And they really kept the Brewster bats at bay. They were able to tack one on in the late innings, but the pitching came in, closed out the game nicely. And thanks to 2 home runs, Doug Gleed's first of the year, which felt like it was a long time coming. Though our Red Sox came away with a 1-run victory, but this game should be good. These two teams haven't faced since the second game of the season on June 12th. And both rosters are really different from that matchup.
Should be an exciting one between the two teams. For YD, they come in 11-7-1 for Cotuit. They lead the West Division 13 up and 6 down for the Kettleers, who won the first meeting between these two teams this season. These sides are tied for first in the league in home runs. They are both the top of the league in ERA and strikeouts on the pitching side of things, and are first and second in slugging percentage. Should be a really exciting matchup between a pair of teams that really do things well on both sides of the ball. Starting lineup for the Red Sox, R.J. Austin back at his regular home in the field. In the infield, he'll play at second base today. And as usual in the batting lineup, he hits leadoff. Enzo Apodaca, who's been leapfrogging back and forth between the top and the bottom of the lineup for Scott Pickler, hitting second. He's in right today. Max Vieira and Hunter Hines in their usual spots. Vieira at short, hitting third. Hunter Hines at first. In the cleanup, Doug Gleed is at third base, coming off his first home run of the season yesterday. Nathan Archer follows him behind in the 6th hole. He plays center field today. Jacob Christian is the DH for YD. Casey Cook, the UNC Tar Heel, is in left, and he hits 8th. And Connor Dykstra rounds things out as he gets the start behind the dish for the second straight night for Scott Pickler's team. He catches in the 9 hole. Cameron Hill, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket lefty, gets the ball for Mike Roberts and his team. Native of Fayetteville, Georgia, 6'6", 215 pounds. He has appeared in 5 games so far this season, 1 start, 2-0 record for him this year, and a perfect ERA, 0.0 across 12 2/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 3 hits, 2 walks, and he has fanned 19. R.J. Austin starts things off for YD. Yesterday he was 1 for 3, kept the hitting streak alive at the death in the 8th inning. First pitch on the way, and it sinks down and in for ball 1. Our start time, 4:59 p.m. from beautiful Lowell Park, surrounded by trees and a great crowd here in Cotuit. Lefty hurler is into the wind. Hill throws. Lifted up foul behind home plate, and that evens the count of the ball and a strike. Hill getting back to it. R.J. Austin has had a hit in every game he started for YD this season. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaks outside, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Austin's been keeping us on our toes, recording his hit in the last 2 games and his last at-bat in the 8th inning each time.
2 balls and a strike to R.J. The pitch. Breaking ball rides in, 3-1. Austin walked once yesterday. An aggressive hitter when he first showed up, has been taking more pitches lately. 3-1 pitch, here it comes. And he takes outside, ball 4. 5-pitch walk from Cameron Hill, just his 3rd of the season. Not a guy who gives up a lot of free passes, but the Red Sox get a leadoff base runner in a clash of the division-leading Titans.
That's Austin's 9th walk of the season, which actually leads the Red Sox, despite the fact that he's only been here for about 10 games now.
Enzo Apodaca up to the plate, first lefty hitter to face off against the southpaw Cameron Hill. Now out of the stretch, he'll lift the knee and throw over to first. R.J. Austin is back in time. Austin yesterday got caught in a rundown as he tripped en route to being picked off, but was able to weave his way out of it as a throw when he was running back to first got away. He's playing with Hill's head, faking the jump, and now Hill is going to throw over there, and Apodaca's back with a couple of steps. Enzo Apodaca hitting .326 for YD this season. Places him second on the team, only behind the man on first, R.J. Austin. First pitch on the way, and a breaking ball hits him. Enzo got hit by a pitch yesterday, and he does so again today. That's back-to-back free passes for Cameron Hill here in the first. And it brings up Max Vieira, who had a rare hitless day yesterday.
You could see Apodaca's face after that just fall. He was brutalized yesterday. First, he fouled a pitch off his foot and then was hit by a pitch in the exact same spot. Today, just nailed on the side of the leg once again. That leg is going to be bruised for days to come, but he wears it, walks it over to first.
Max Vieira's come back down to earth a little bit over these last few games, but still hitting very strongly for YD. First and second, nobody out. First pitch to him. Rises high, ball one. So YD threatening to score here in inning number one. They took a 2-0 lead over Brewster off the 2-run shot from Hunter Hines in the first inning yesterday. Hines is on deck. Look back at second, now home. The 1-0 to Vieira. Sinks down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Vieira hitting .307. This is his 20th start. 2 balls and no strikes. Hill fires. That's high at the letters for ball 3. So Hill really struggling to find the zone here, has given up back-to-back free passes and now a 3-0 count to Max Vieira. First and second, nobody out, no score yet in the top of the first. The pitch right down the heart of the plate for strike one.
And that's a pitch that's just comforting as a pitcher to know that you can still put it in there. He knew that Max Vieira had a very small chance of swinging, just put it right down the heart of the zone.
3 balls and a strike to the Seton Hall Pirate. The pitch, ball 4 outside. Just a hair off the plate, and Cameron Hill has walked 2 and hit 1 to load up the bases with nobody out here in the first. And out comes Mike Roberts to the mound for Cotuit.
And out comes some pitchers walking over to the Cotuit bullpen. Likely going to give him some time and space to recover and keep going for a few more batters at least, but putting some catchers and pitchers in the bullpen for insurance.
Hunter Hines is coming to the plate for YD. He has already hit a grand slam this season. He's the CCBL's leader in home runs with 7. Had one yesterday. He's also driven in 25, hitting .291 this year. Grand slam came against Chatham. It was an absolute blast. Went over 420 feet and was 109 miles an hour off the bat. This conversation continues as Cameron Hill, who's been a stalwart for this Cotuit team through the early part of the season, tries to pitch his way out of a jam in the first. Crowd has grown slightly tense now as YD threatening to score. And now Hunter Hines, the lefty, will make his way in and dig his back foot into the batter's box. Still out of the stretch. Hill set at the belt. First pitch to Hines. Taken off the plate. That one sliding away for ball 1.
Hill has only walked 2 players in his 12.2 innings pitched before this. Already 2 here in the first.
Corners creeping in for Cotuit. 1-0. Take it on the inner half for strike 1. Hill so far 13 pitches, 3 strikes, 10 balls. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch to Hines. Breaks on the inner corner for strike 2. So Hill has found some paint here to the YD cleanup hitter, and now Hunter Hines is behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hill sets. And deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Threw the breaking ball away, and Hines goes chasing. First strikeout for Cameron Hill, and he's 1 step closer of getting out of this here in the top of the first. Bases still loaded with now 1 out in a scoreless game. Dub Gleed, who hit his first home run of the season yesterday, looking to change that. Gleed was 1 for 3. YD team that only mustered 4 hits, but found a way to win against Brewster last night. First pitch to the righty. Taken in the air, foul ground on the left side. Racing after a third baseman, Josh Ain. And he runs out of room. This one hits off the top of the fence. So no balls and a strike now to Gleed, who will return.
You have to respect Pine's hustle on that. He was full out sprinting to try to make a play on that ball. Just flew too far to the left. Nobody had a chance at it.
If that ball had stayed in play deep enough where maybe if you're R.J. Austin on third, you think about tagging and going for the plate. Instead, an 0-1 count to Dub Gleed. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball twirled foul. He's down 0-2.
We've seen Gleed hit a lot of foul balls in these at-bats. They go on, and he just kind of misses the contact. Yesterday was the first time he really connected with the barrel, and we saw what came out of that.
No balls, 2 strikes, and pitch. Grounded foul over to the Cotuit dugout. Still 0-2 to Dub Gleed. Bases are loaded with 1 out. In the top of the first, no score between YD and Cotuit, the leaders of the East and West divisions respectively. Hanging the left arm, Hill all set up on the bump. Lifts the knee and throws home. Outside, ball 1. Fastball taken by Gleed, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to the third baseman, IDC Irvine. Hill comes plateward. Breaking ball flared out towards right field. Backing up, McCoy looks to be underneath it in the gap, makes the catch. Austin tagging for home. All other runners stay put as the throw comes into third. Austin scores, and it's a sac fly for Dub Gleed as YD takes the lead in the top of the first inning. It's 1-0 Red Sox.
It's really not a bad result for that at-bat at all. Gets the Red Sox on the board. Still just 2 outs in the inning. Have a chance to bring them around with 2 runners aboard for Nathan Archer, who is a power hitter himself when he wants to be.
Archer 0 for his last 6 with a walk wedged in there. Comes up first and second, 2 outs in the top of the first. Still no hits for YD. Pitch on the way. Check swing taken at the shoulders for ball 1. Archer, the Bowling Green Falcon, rocking a white arm sleeve on his left arm underneath the red top, white bottom for YD here on the road. Hill looks over at second, a sizable lead there from Apodaca. He'll throw anyway. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball pulled the string. And Archer has the count even at 1-1. Nathan's average down to 270 after he was up in the 350 range for most of the beginning of the year. The 1-1 pitch rises high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Archer cuts a little hole in the bottom of his pants and sticks part of his cleats through it, so the pants are actually underneath his shoes. It's modeled after Justin Turner, former YD Red Sox player.
Currently playing for the Boston Red Sox, having a really strong year this year. 2-1 pitch on the way. Lifted up in the infield, foul ground coming over the catcher, Lomavita, near the YD dugout, and he makes the catch to retire the side. Damage control pretty good, all things considered, from Cameron Hill. YD had the bases loaded with nobody out and comes away with just 1 run. It's 1-0 Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the first inning. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 1-0 Red Sox, bottom of the first inning here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. Poley, Perri, Kitei alongside. 1 run off, no hits for the Red Sox as Cameron Hill works his way through a bases loaded, nobody out jam, giving up just 1 run. Cal Stephen getting the ball for the Red Sox on this day. And Calais Harrison at the plate. Takes the first pitch off the plate for ball 1. Calais Harrison, beg your pardon, the shortstop for Cotuit. One ball, no strikes. Stephen fires, swing and a miss. Count even at 1-1.
Stephen has had some really strong outings for the Red Sox. 3 starts, gone 14 innings with a 3.21 ERA.
1-1 pitch. Drops down low for ball 2. 1-1 win-loss record for Cal Stephen this year. 2 balls and a strike to Calais Harrison, native of Kailua, Hawaii. Plays at NC State collegiately. He's rocking the red and white Adidas gloves for the Wolfpack. Righty on lefty, Stephen into the wind. Now the pitch. Flared foul. That one thuds on top of the concession stand building, a tin roof. It's 2-2 to Harrison. Last time out for Cal Stephen, he went 5 innings scoreless, getting a winning result against Harwich. Just 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for the Purdue Boilermaker. The 2-2 pitch. Push foul again, out of play. Stands are very full here in Cotuit. Got full very quickly, about 15 minutes pregame. I'd say there were only about 25% of the amount of people that are here now. And as we've crossed the 5 p.m. start time, fans filing in large numbers. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Harrison, and pitch. Hit on the ground over towards second. R.J. Austin coming around. It's off his wrist as it handcuffs him. He picks it back up and throws to first, not in time. And Harrison will beat it out. We'll check on the score's decision. Might be an E4 for RJ, who's been in the outfield throughout his time here in YD, despite being a natural infielder. He's back at second base today. But Cotuit gets their leadoff man on by way of Harrison, and now Brock Wills making his debut here at home. The left fielder for Cotuit stands in, another lefty to face off against Cal Stephen, who takes a look over to first. Harrison not off the bag yet. First pitch to Wills. Burns the lower part of the zone for strike 1. Wills 0 for 1 on the season. Plays at UNC Wilmington. No balls and a strike to him. Scores decision is an E4 on that last play from Harrison. 0-1 pitch. Lined right side over the head of a leaping R.J. Austin into right for a base hit. Harrison was frozen on contact to not get doubled off, so he will just make it to second and stop there. But Cotuit's got their first 2 men on after YD did so in the top of the first inning. And we've got our first hit of the game. It comes from Brock Wills. That's his first base knock of the season. Cole Mathis, the DH, coming up for Cotuit. 2A at a college at Charleston. First and second and nobody out for Cal Stephen. He sets from the first base side of the rubber, lifts his front toe, and now fires. Breaking ball bounces in the dirt. Dykstra will take his mask off and make sure the runners stay put, which they do. 1 ball, no strikes. Mathis normally plays infield, also a right-handed pitcher. Hit .330 for college at Charleston during the spring. Sitting .291 here on the Cape with a pair of home runs and 8 driven in this summer. A lot of looks back at second from Stephen. Now the pitch comes high and in. 2 balls, no strikes. 3.21 ERA on the season for Stephen over 14 innings. Struck out 17 batters in that span. Two-0 deal. Whip foul. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Two balls and 1 strike, first and second. And nobody out in a 1-0 game. YD out in front in the bottom of the first inning. Just crossed 5 p.m. here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. Stephen nods. 2-1. Here it comes. Sinks low, 3 balls and a strike. This stadium, out of all the road stadiums we've been to, the scenery is very nice, but this fan base not only is large in size, as we've mentioned, but they've got some kind of stadium buzz to them, as now you're going to get a visit out to the mound from a YD coach. But a lot of the places we go, it feels almost a little bit quiet, regardless of how large the crowd is. But here it seems to have that kind of stadium buzz you get from going to something like a major league game, where there's just a constant underlying tone of noise.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Cotuit was one of the first 4 teams in the Cape League, which is celebrating its 100th year this season. So it's a really historic team. It's a team that a lot of tourists who are interested in the league come to see specifically when they visit the Cape, especially because of 4th of July weekend. So this is a team that garners a lot of fan attention, not just from locals in the area, but from people who just know baseball and respect this league as a whole.
Coach back to the dugout in a 3-1 count for YD. 4th of July weekend, of course, means very large crowds. That holds for everywhere, but like you said, especially here in Cotuit. Throw back to second from Cal Stephen. Bit of a rainbow, but R.J. Austin handles it, and the runner is back in time. They got first and second, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the first, YD had bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the first, mustered 1 run out of it. Stevens set just below the belt. Takes a noticeable breath, now he throws home. It's right over the plate for strike 2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Cole Mathis. Harrison on second, reached via the error. Brock Wills with his first single of the season over on first. Steven throws the payoff. Grounder over towards third. Gleed scoops it up, throws on to second for 1. R.J. Austin will eat it there. And so they split the runners and get Wills at second. Harrison reaches up to third base. And Mathis on the fielder's choice. 1 out now in the bottom of the first. And they're on the corners for the cleanup hitter, Carter Matheson. Matheson, the Indiana Hoosier, .320 hitter, appearing in his 12th game of the season. More walks than strikeouts for him, a guy who gets on base a lot. The lefty trying to drive in the tying run, which sits over on third. First pitch to him on the way. Off the plate, Dykstra's throw over to third, bounces in, and it gets by Dub Gleed into left field. Run will come in to score. Mathis moves up to second, and it's a tie ball game in the bottom of the first, 1-1.
We've seen this story before, Luke, way back at the beginning of the season. Might have actually been against Cotuit, I can't quite remember, but Johnny Pappas, who was a catcher at the time, had a back pick to third that went awry, and it scored a run, so things are now tied.
So that moves the now go-ahead run over to second. 1-1 our score. It's an unearned run against Cal Stephen, but counts on the scoreboard all the same. First pitch on the way, bounces low. Second pitch, I should say. It's 2 balls, no strikes now to Matheson. Didn't have it up on the scoreboard after that whole frenzy. 2-0 count. Mathis standing over on second base. 2 of the best hitting and pitching teams in the entire league. Connor Dykstra had to grab something and ran it over to the dugout. Got the pitch comm dangling off his right ear. First base open with a runner on second. Still 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. 2-0 to Matheson. Chopper over towards short. Vieira comes up with it. Steps, throws low to first, but squeezing down against the ground. It's smothered by Hines for out number 2. Mathis moves up to third. And so now the go-ahead run 90 feet away. 2 gone in the bottom of the first.
Hines has had an underrated glove over at first. Some of these balls in the dirt have not been easy plays to make, but he's done a really good job picking it up, squeezing it, making sure that he gets the out.
Jacob Tobias, the first baseman now, sees the first pitch, swing and a miss up high. He went chasing for strike 1. Tobias was initially scheduled to be the DH in this game, but a late insertion of the lineup Cole Mathis was brought in that spot, and so now Tobias is playing first base today. Runner on third, 2 outs, 0-1 pitch. Bounces low, chested down by Dykstra. He'll walk over to it right in front of home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, now the count. Hunter Hines, YD's first baseman, played DH for the entirety of the school year, so this is his chance now over the summer to get some reps in the field before he will likely occupy that spot for Mississippi State next spring. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Tobias, and pitch. Bouncer in again, 2-1.
Tobias plays for Arizona State, had a solid season, batted .317 for the Sun Devils.
3 for 20 to begin his summer here. He's driven in 1 run, looking for a second that could potentially give Cotuit the lead here in the bottom of the first. Steven nods. Takes a breath, the 2-1 pitch. Check swing, and he takes outside, 3-1. So Tobias holds, that one just missing off the plate. To the lefty, a lot of lefties. The front part of this lineup, 3 of the first 4 for Mike Roberts. 3-1 pitch, here comes. Fastball in the inner corner for strike 2. So a full count to Tobias. Cal Steven, as his counterpart Cameron Hill did in the top of the first, looking to get out of this with just 1 run against. Steven throws the payoff. Lined out towards center field, coming in. This ball is going to drop in front of Nathan Archer for a base hit. Mathis scores. It's an RBI single for Tobias. Brings in his 2nd of the season, and it's now 2-1 Cotuit in the bottom of the first.
Really nice piece of hitting on a full count from Tobias. Got every single piece of that ball. The launch angle was just enough to get over the infield and drop in front of Archer before he had time to get over there.
So now James McCoy, runner on first with 2 out, another left-handed hitter for Cotuit. Stevens' first pitch to him sinks on the back foot for a ball 1. McCoy playing out in right field. Next pitch to him on the way. He takes outside. It's 2-0. McCoy, normally an infielder. Cotuit only has 2 outfielders on their roster right now, and so he's a guy that normally plays infield that's been stuck out there for the time being. Kentucky Wildcat sees the 2-0 and takes at the shoulders for ball 3.
McCoy is one of a few Kentucky Wildcats. Another one in the lineup today that we'll see later is Emilian Pitre. He's actually on deck.
3 balls and no strikes. Steven fires. Low for ball 4. Pitch count has ratcheted up for Cal Steven here in the first. He's now up to 17, or I beg your pardon, 27 thrown in inning number 1. And now another Kentucky Wildcat, Emilian Pitre, striding up to the dish. First and second, 2 outs. Steven looking to stop the bleeding at 2 runs as Cotuit in front by 1. First pitch on the way. Pitre takes over the outer half for strike 1 and a knee-high fastball.
Pitre batting .250 through 8 games. That's 7 for 28.
Pitre did not see the field the first time these 2 teams met. Way back on game 2 of the season, 0-1. Drops low, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is the second to last park that YD will visit for the first time. The other coming on the other side of the off day. Red Sox will not play tomorrow, and then they will head to McKeon Park to take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They have not seen the Harbor Hawks at all this season. 1-1 pitch. Breaks just outside, 2-1. So the Red Sox have played every team except Hyannis already. They played Cotuit at home, but they have not only not visited Hyannis, they haven't played them at all. They will meet in a couple of nights on the 4th. 2-1 pitch. Sharply grounded over towards second. R.J. Austin was backed up to the shallow outfield, but he has it and throws to first in time for out number 3. Cotuit responds with a 2-punch of their own in the bottom of the first, and it's 2-1 Kettleers. We head to inning number 2 after an action-packed first frame. Stay tuned. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the second inning here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. A very, very crowded Lowell Park. Probably the most fans we've seen at any game this season. 2-1 our score. Cotuit leads YD after an action-packed first. Bottom 3 in the order coming up for YD. Jacob Christian leads off on the first pitch to him. He checks swings and goes around for strike 1 and a pitch up high at the shoulders. Christian gets the call at DH for YD this evening. He's hitting 194 on the year. With 1 deep fly, 2 driven in for the righty. Transferring to the University of San Diego next year. 0-1. Taken near the jersey, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Christian has been struggling to see the ball lately. He's been striking out a lot, and he's been chasing at pitches that are either really far behind.
1-1. Breaks to the bottom part of the zone for strike 2.
And just hasn't been able to time them up recently.
Guy that carries a lot of pop in that bat. D2 National Player of the Year. Trying to find his stride this summer. 1-2 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jacob Christian. Cameron Hill has not given up a hit yet. He walked 2 and hit a batter to load the bases with nobody out in the first, then gave up a sac fly and got out of it with just 1 run. 0-2. Drops low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I beg your pardon. That fills the count. So now it's 3-2 to Jacob Christian. Hill nods, and now the payoff. Called strike 3. Christian took a step down towards first base, but that one just got a piece of the zone as the bottom fell out of it. And there's 1 gone here in the second strikeout for Cameron Hill.
And that's a tough pitch to get a called strike 3. It maybe just clipped the corner, but the sideways movement, it continued away from the plate.
Casey Cook takes at the shoulders, ball 1.
I think Christian thought it would carry a little bit more than it did by the time it broke the plane.
1-0 to Cook. Just a bit lower for strike 1 as that pitch finds the top of the zone. Cook, a guy who has made a lot of adjustments to his swing over the last few days. He's been working a lot extra with Scott Pickler. 1-1. Breaking ball misses in. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's got a very interesting swing mechanic that we've talked about before where he kind of starts the bat up ahead. 2-1 pitch, and he fouls it off left side out of play. Starts his bat a little more forward than you normally would because when he loads, he pulls his bat back a little bit. And so when he pulls it back, it loads it into normal position. It keeps his swing short. It's 2-2. Slides away. 3 balls, 2 strikes as the ball gets to the backstop. 2-1 game led by Cotuit in the top of the second. Another full count, the second straight to begin this second frame. The payoff to Cook. Fastball jammed away. And we'll do it again. Casey spoils the two-strike offering. Twirls the bat and now readies for another payoff pitch. Hill comes home with it. Breaking ball called strike 3. Back-to-back looking Ks by Cameron Hill. And Casey Cook knew that one right away. As he heads back to the dugout, there are 2 gone with the bases empty for Connor Dykstra, the 9-hitter. Dykstra gets the start behind the plate again. First pitch to him. Misses in and gets away for ball 1. It's been in for Will King, who's been dealing with a thumb issue. Got jammed up a couple of nights ago and has been dealing with that. 1 ball and no strikes to Dykstra. And the pitch. High and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Dykstra hitting 157. 3 hits for him on the year. 2 of them coming against Chatham. 2-0 pitch. Breaking ball, hammered on the ground over towards third. Pine was playing in on the grass. He smothers it and throws over to first. Hits Tobias in the chest for out number 3. 2 strikeouts as the bottom of the order for YD goes 1-2-3. It's still 2-1 Cotuit as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And you're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the second, 2-1 Kettleers over YD in a meeting between the East and West Division's best. 8-9-1 coming up for the Kettleers. Caleb Lomavita up to the plate. He had an RBI yesterday and the Kets lost. First pitch on the way. Sky high, right side of the infield. Coming over from first, Hunter Hines loses the hat but makes the catch halfway down the line in foul ground for out number 1. Quick and easy for Cal Steven to get the first out. It was anything but in the first as he faced 7 batters. But maybe like Cameron Hill on the other side, who also struggled in the first, try to settle in here in frame number 2. Josh Pine at the dish. First pitch to him as he squares to bunt. He pulls back and takes on the high part of the zone for strike 1.
Steven, as many of the YD starting pitchers have, has a pattern of settling in the middle innings after a slower start. Something we could see again here today.
0-1 pitch. Misses beneath the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Pine just 1 for his first 17, the Indiana Hoosier at third base today for Cotuit. 1-1. Breaking ball misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Former YD Red Sox outfielder Nick Mitchell, who's now playing with Hyannis, just committed there a couple of days ago out of the transfer portal from Western Illinois. He'll play for the Hoosiers next season. 2-1 pitch to Pine. Lifted up into the shallow outfield and foul territory. Gleed is backing up from third. Looks to be Campton, makes the catch for out number 2. Back-to-back pop-outs in foul territory for this bottom of the Kettleer lineup, and that flips it over for Kalai Harrison. Harrison grounded one over to second base his last time up that took a hop and handcuffed R.J. Austin, who was charged for the error, as Harrison reached and scored Cotuit's first of 2 runs that came across in that inning. Steven winds up the first offering. Placed on the low part of the zone for strike 1. Bases empty, 2 gone. 2-1 the score in favor of Cotuit. 0-1 pitch. Drops down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Thanks for joining us here on this Sunday, 4th of July weekend here on Cape Cod. Steven looking to retire the bottom of the second inning. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Sails high, 2 balls, 1 strike. YD on the road for their next couple before they return back home to Red Wilson Field. 2-1 pitch to Harrison. Grounded over towards first, and it is a foul ball as Hines comes around it and was carried onto the grass. That'll make it 2-2. Harrison hitting nearly 350 for the Kettleers. At 348, he's also driven in 8, which is not too shabby considering he's a leadoff guy. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch fouled off on the left side.
Harrison has only been getting better since he started his collegiate career at Texas A&M, then transferred to NC State there, had a really solid season.
2-2, here comes. Reacher grounded over towards short. Vieira comes around it. Fields reaching to his left and throws on to first in time for out number 3. So just like the Red Sox, the Kettleers go in order in the bottom of the second inning as we head to the third from Lowell Park. It's Cotuit 2 and YD 1. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Stay with us. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, and with 6 convenient urgent care locations across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans, we're ready to treat a wide variety of minor illnesses and injuries so you can get back to your regularly scheduled summer plans quickly. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, urgent care, minor emergencies, major attention. Front end of the third inning here from Lowell Park. Luke West, Poley, Perri, Kitei alongside. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a 2-1 game. Cotuit leading YD. Top of the order coming up for the Red Sox. R.J. Austin takes the first pitch. High up for ball 1. Austin walked his first time up on 5 pitches. Came around to score YD's lone run. 1-0 pitch. Finds the inner half of the zone. R.J. was reaching up as if to evade that one, but couldn't fool the home plate umpire. That evens the count at 1-1. Quickly the pitch. That sinks down low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cameron Hill struck out 2, went 1-2-3 through the bottom of the YD order in the last inning. The 2-1 to Austin. Misses away, 3 balls and a strike.
Austin has been playing high-level baseball since high school. When he was on the USA U18 team, was also a high school All-American and continued that.
3-1 sails high, and he takes ball 4. It's another 5-pitch walk for the Vanderbilt Commodore.
at Vanderbilt his freshman year. He was a starter throughout the season, really tough to do at such a storied program, and has just carried that momentum here, has been phenomenal for the Red Sox so far.
He's on base for the second time. Still yet to get a chance to extend that hit streak as he's been walked rather quickly both of his times up. Enzo Apodaca got hit his first time at the plate. Runner on first, nobody out. First pitch to the lefty. Drops down and away. Lomavita scrambling to it and holds on for ball one. Apodaca has been beaten up recently. Mentioned his woes yesterday with getting a ball fouled off on him and then getting hit, and then also got hit in his first plate appearance today. Small lead on first, 1-0 pitch. High at eye level, 2 balls, no strikes.
It's interesting to see Hill almost reverting to how he performed against the YD top of the lineup in the first after a really solid second. He's starting off with a lot of balls for the leadoff and the second hitter.
Apodaca choked up just a hair, 2-0, and the pitch. Breaking ball slides in the front door for strike one. Pitcher warming up in the Cotuit bullpen. It's a righty. That's all we know. All we can tell from here, there's a lot of fans over on that side. They have wrapped from the foul pole all the way out towards center field where they kind of stop. Throw back over towards first, and Austin will scamper back. Also on the right side, there are fans that are lined from the foul pole out into about right center. Really can't emphasize enough, there are a lot of people here on 4th of July weekend. 2-1 pitch. Clips the top of the zone for strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Apodaca. Trying to even up this game with YD trailing 2-1. Runner on first with nobody out in the top of the third. Hill deals the 2-2, way up high. Lomavita with full extension on that left arm prevents it from going to the backstop with the glove, and the count is full to Apodaca. Enzo looks over to Scott Pickler, who gives him a sign at third base. He, along with Austin, who stands over on first. Austin is being held. He's about 2 steps off the bag. The 3-2 to Apodaca. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Blew the express by him. 4th strikeout on the fastball from Cameron Hill. And that brings up Max Vieira, now a runner on first and 1 gone. Vieira walked his first time at the dish. The righty for YD wearing the high socks. The YD logo on each calf. First pitch to him. Backdoored in for strike 1. Cameron Hill hangs his left arm with his glove covering his belt buckle. And now sets from the stretch. Look towards first, now home, 0-1 to Vieira. Lifted up and foul at a play on the right side. Vieira goes down 0-2. YD still hitless here despite having 4 base runners. 3 of them have come on walks, 1 on a hit by pitch. But 4 through 9 in the order so far for YD have all failed to reach base 1 time through. 0-2 to Vieira on the way. Runner bluffs, pitch misses up high, back pick towards first is not in time. Tobias just couldn't get the tag on Austin, who danced around him. Had a case there that tag could have been made and there would have been an out on that back pick, but instead it's a 1-2 count, and Austin lives to see another day on the bases. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just off the plate. Tough 2-strike take, but Vieira holds up, and it's 2-2.
Austin is an audacious base runner, to be sure. He's been caught out 2 times in rundowns. Almost happened yesterday. Almost got picked off just now, but somehow manages to stay safe.
Hill will now throw over there, and Austin scurrying back to the base. Runner on first with 1 out, and the top of the 3rd inning. Hill looks home at first, now home. The 2-2 popped up middle of the infield, coming on from second. Petray underneath and makes the catch on the shallow infield grass for out number 2. YD looks to Hunter Hines to extend this inning. Runner on first now with 2 gone. Hines, the YD slugger, came up bases loaded, nobody out his last time and struck out swinging. Lefty on lefty. As Hines gets his second look at Cameron Hill. The southpaw fires the first pitch, and Hines hits this one pretty well out towards left field, but Wills, not much movement. Now he trots in, reaches up, and makes the catch around mid-outfield for out number 3. Leadoff base runner does not move as R.J. Austin stranded on first for YD, and they remain scoreless since the first inning. It's 2-1 Cotuit, headed to the bottom of the third here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Two on our score, bottom half of the third inning from Lowell Park and Cotuit Kettleers leading the YD Red Sox. 2-3-4 coming up for Cotuit. Brock Wills is 1 for 1. Base hit back in the first inning. Cal Steven returns to the mound for the Red Sox. The righty out of Purdue puts the tan and black glove back on. Brings over his face, now drops to the belt and readies for the first pitch. Here it comes. Drop down low for ball 1. Humid, warm day from Cotuit, Sunday afternoon. Turned evening, 1-0 pitch. Drops down and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Kettleers went in order in the second. Wills swinging an entirely red bat out of UNC Wilmington. Sees the 2-0. Taken on the inner half for strike 1. Low part of the zone.
It's been a cloudy day, but the sun is now trying to break through for the first time today. We get a little bit of light. Cotuit, one of 2 fields without lights.
2-1 pitch. Chopper up the middle. Steven fields it on the mound and underhand flips to first for out number 1.
With, of course, Red Wilson Field of the Red Sox being the other, so both these teams used to playing early. Nice grab from Cal Steven, made that look easy.
Got it on the 1 hop, and now that will bring in Cole Mathis with the bases empty and 1 gone. He has the leading run in this game. That came back in the first when he reached on a fielder's choice and came around. Steven working from the wind, lifts the leg and now fires. Swing and a foul tip into the glove, 0-1. Lowell Park surrounded by woods on all sides, so 1 pitch on the way. Bounces before reaching home. It's a ball and a strike. This might be one of, if not my favorite road ballparks we've been to so far. Not only the crowd adding to it, but just the backdrop. Very, very nice. 1-1 pitch. Bounces in for ball 2.
I'd love to see it on a day where there's a good sunset. I think this park would have a fantastic sunset.
Unfortunate that we probably won't get anything like that today with all the clouds in the sky. 2 balls and a strike to Mathis. And pitch. Taken inside for ball 3. Cotuit's got some sharp unis on. Cotuit across the front, all white with the pinstripes down him. Mathis ahead 3-1. Steven fires. Low for ball 4. So they won't go quietly 1, 2, 3 for the second straight inning. Cole Mathis put aboard by Cal Stephen here in the third. And now Carter Matheson will stand in. Mathis followed by Matheson in the order. Center fielder is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short his first time up. .320 hitter through the early part of the season. Steven now working out of the stretch. Offsets his front foot towards third. From the first base side of the rubber, he deals. Swing and a miss. Late swing that time for Matheson. He can't connect, and he's down 0-1. Kettleers team that leads the league in slugging percentage and tied with this YD squad for home runs with 15. 0-1. High at the shoulders, 1 ball, 1 strike. This field isn't super small. It's 397 out to center, 320 down the lines. But the wind does blow out slightly. Flag is lazily flowing out towards left center field. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch drops away, 2-1.
Matheson is really disciplined at the plate. You can see that with how often he gets on base. In 59 games for Indiana this season, he reached base in 50 of them. The season before was 54 for 59, even better.
2 balls and 1 strike to the Hoosier. Pitch low and away off the corner, and it's 3-1. So we got some in-state rivalry here between pitcher and hitter. Cal Stephen, the Purdue Boilermaker, pitching against Carter Matheson, the IU Hoosier, one of a couple guys from Bloomington in this lineup for Cotuit. 3 balls and a strike and a snap throw to first. Does not generate a tag. One out, 2-1. Cotuit leading YD in the bottom of the third inning. Runner on first. Another snap throw and a balk is called on Cal Stephen. And that's going to move the runner up. Stephen jumped really high. It was very noticeable on his throw over to first. Didn't catch what drew the balk there, but the umpire saw something, and now Scott Pickler is out to protest. Stephen's got a smile on his face over on the mound. And Pickler, with a bit of a disgusted look on his face, heads back to the dugout. So the runner moves into scoring position. Mathis on second with 1 away. 3-1 the count to Carter Matheson.
Coach Pickler really leaves the dugout for just 2 reasons. 1, to pull the pitcher, and 2, to argue with an umpire.
Very mild-mannered, too. Doesn't necessarily yell, but certainly gets his message across. 3-1 pitch, outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks dealt out by Cal Stephen, and that puts runners on first and second for Jacob Tobias. Three walks so far for Cal. He's yet to strike out a batter. Guy who came in averaging over a strikeout per inning, almost a strikeout and a half. Jacob Tobias is 1 for 1, first and second, 1 out. First pitch to the first baseman. Breaking ball called a strike on the inner half. 0-1 as Tobias drove in a run his last time up, the go-ahead run for Cotuit. No balls, 1 strike. Stevens still out of the stretch, fires home. That one bounces on home plate. It's knocked down with the arm by Dykstra, and the runners will hold off on first and second. Tobias, the ASU Sun Devil, has the count even at 1-1. The maroon and gold leg pad on his right shin. White Adidas cleats and white gloves to match the all-white unis for Cotuit. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. He tied it in on the hitter, and Steven gets a swinging strike, too. Cal twirls the ball in his right hand. Now he bumps it against his chest. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count with 1 out to Jacob Tobias. Pitch. Breaking ball away, 2-2. First and second with one out. Crowd continuing to grow in size here from Cotuit. Tobias corks the bat back. The 2-2 offering on the way. Check swing on a pitch outside. The appeal to the base umpire, and they say held. And the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jacob Tobias. Steven working off the bump. Now he climbs back on. Cotuit already leading 2-1, looking to extend upon that here in the bottom of the third. The 3-2 offering on the way. Called strike 3 in the low part of the zone. Tobias tossed his bat back towards the dugout trying to draw ball 4. But Cal Steven picks up a biggie for his first strikeout. There's 2 gone now in the third.
A really similar pitch to Cameron Hill's first strikeout looking. Just sweeps across the plate, kisses that outside corner.
So now 2 outs with runners on first and second for James McCoy, who worked to walk his first time. Third baseman Doug Glee playing a little off the line. First pitch, swing and a miss. Brought it over the plate, but McCoy could not connect with it for strike 1.
McCoy, another Kentucky Wildcat.
Interesting to see the pipelines for each of these different teams in the Cape League. Of course, the YD's got that West Coast connection. Kentucky and Indiana clearly too for this Cotuit team. 0-1, bounces on home, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's really been making me think about the series between the two in the NCAA Super Regionals. Or regional, it was the regional final.
1 ball and 1 strike to McCoy. Knee lift and a throw back over towards second. Both of those probably programs that will be getting better over these next couple of years. Kentucky and Indiana already had pretty strong seasons from the both of them.
Indiana's had a lot of action in the transfer portal too. At least 3 commitments that I've seen in the last couple days.
1-1 pitch on the way. Fouled off right behind home, 1-2. And that regional that both those teams participated in, that was the dorm room regional, if I'm not mistaken, where
it was.
There was the country music festival that bought up all the hotels in the area. And so the teams had to stay in dorm rooms instead of hotels because there was nothing within an hour drive of Lexington available for the weekend of that regional. 1-2 the count to McCoy. The pitch fouled off behind home again. Still 1-2 with 2 outs. Crowd lets out a yelp. Sounds like somebody caught that out near the parking lot. First and second with 2 outs. 2-1 Cotuit in the third. The pitch breaks down low for ball 2. Heard shouts of time from the left side. Not sure if someone was trying to get it, but it was not granted. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count to McCoy. Stevens set just above the belt. Lifts the knee and throws. Lifted up in the air out towards left field. Oncoming Casey Cook. And called up by the shortstop, Max Vieira, who leaps up and makes the catch down the line for out number 3. Weird play there with 3 players converging, but YD gets it done, and they hang a 0 in the bottom of the third. On to the 4th inning here from Cotuit. Kettleers strand 2. They still lead 2-1 here on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Back for the top of the fourth at Lowell Park. The score is 2-1 in favor of the Kettleers. Dub Gleed leading off for the Red Sox. He's responsible for the Red Sox only run. It was scored on a sac fly. That was RJ Austin who came across the plate. So Gleed 0 for 0. Trying to get one back. Facing a new pitcher, it's Zach Joyce on the mound. He deals the first pitch, fouled back behind our heads. Joyce with the glove at the face, now down to the belt. The 0-1, the off speed in the middle of the zone, strike 2. Gleed facing another 0-2 count. Joyce plays at Tennessee going into his senior year in Knoxville. Spent 2 seasons playing junior college ball. The 0-2 on the way, high for ball 1.
It's one of 2 Knoxville natives that play for Tennessee that are both on this Cotuit team.
Now there's an interesting pipeline. Set again, the pitch, the 1-2 outside, and it's 2-2. Gleed holding off after going down to an 0-2 count. Regular infield for Cotuit, Kalai Harrison slightly in on the dirt, and Emilian Pitre backed up to the grass. The pitch hammered into left field, going back to the wall, and it's foul. Just behind the pole. Could have been second home run of the year, of the week for Dub Gleed. Instead, it was about 10 feet to the left.
That ball was hit really deep. Typically, when you see a foul ball that gets over the fence, it barely clears it. That was way, way, way gone. Can make an argument almost that that might have hooked around the pole maybe.
The 2-2. Hit well out towards center field, coming over on it. Matheson makes the grab. Didn't have enough juice on it to get past the outfield. And Gleed is the first out of the inning. Brings up Nathan Archer in the 6th spot. He's batted up and down the entire lineup for the Red Sox this year. Today, right in the middle. First pitch to him is low and inside for ball 1. Pitre pulled over slightly towards first base, a big gap up the middle. The 1-0 hit well out towards right field, going back to the fence, and right there is McCoy, just in front of where the warning track would be if there was one. That was on a line, really well hit, but could not find a gap.
I think if you're YD now, you're very pleased with how things have unfolded despite those 2 flyouts. You've now gotten Cotuit to go to their bullpen. You're still hitless despite the 1 run, and you have hammered up this new pitcher even if they found gloves.
Jacob Christian holds off on a first pitch ball. Christian has not been a regular in the lineup as more and more YD permanent players have come in today. First time he's starting in a couple of games. The pitch on the way, the 1-0. Drops in the same spot. It's 2-0. Joyce doesn't have a record. He's pitched just 2.2 innings for the Kettleers so far this summer. Counts 2-0 to Gleed, still 2-1 in the top of the 4th. He winds and deals at the bottom of the zone, strike 1.
Joyce is a really good comeback story. He's had a lot going on since he's been in JUCO with a variety of different things.
The 2-1 drops in the dirt again, ball 3.
Had Tommy John his final year at JUCO and then had to step away from the game for a couple years, took a mental health break, returned to UT's baseball program, had a solid season in relief for the Volunteers in his first year back this spring.
Joyce steals at the shoulders, ball 4. Christian takes a bag, and the Red Sox won't go 1-2-3. It's Casey Cook, the lefty, back for his second time around. He was rung up on a slow-moving curveball his first time at the plate. A coach out to talk to Joyce.
I think they're going to call out to the bullpen here. They're going to cut him short on his outing.
I wonder if Joyce was just a time filler to get Another guy warmed up. He really just went the minimum of 3 batters that a new pitcher must face. And there's a new pitcher coming in, second call to the bullpen of the day. We'll head to a quick break and have all of the information on him when we get back on the Cape League Broadcast Network. It's Bryce Jenkins, the 5'10 righty, on the mound to face Casey Cook at the bottom of the order for YD. Luke, as you were talking about the Knoxville natives, this is the second one. Jenkins, going into his senior year at Tennessee, grew up as a UT fan in Knoxville, also played 2 seasons at a community college or at a JUCO, very similarly to Zach Joyce. So really similar profiles between the two of them, both righties. Interesting to go from one to the other after just 3 batters, but Casey Cook, the lefty, will be the first to face Jenkins. He steps into the box, taps the tan bat on the plate, winds it up a couple of times, sporting the powder blue cleats as always, representing North Carolina. The first pitch from Jenkins curves into the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, you wonder about Zach Joyce and the situation going around him. Mentioned him not pitching for a couple of years and coming off Tommy John, and only pitched a little over 10 innings during the spring for Tennessee. So wonder if there's some maybe longevity restraints put on him where he's on a shorter leash just because of injury.
A pickoff attempt from Jenkins over to first, but Christian slides back in safely. YD has 1 aboard in the top of the 4th with 2 outs. Runner goes, and Cook grounds it up the middle over to second. Harrison has it, just tosses it on a rainbow over to first. Could have stepped on the bag at second, but let Christian slide that one out. That's out number 3. A quick outing for Jenkins, and we head to the bottom of the 4th at Lowell Park. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Cal Steven goes 3 innings, and Jason Doktorzik comes in relief. Doktorzik, out of Nevada, has been a solid long relief pitcher for the Red Sox, looking to continue that streak today. Faces Emilian Petri as the first batter for Cotuit. The kick and deal fouled out of play.
Doktorzik's last outing against Wareham went a little off the rails. There was some controversy with umpiring and time calls and a whole bunch of stuff. Did not go well for YD.
The 1-0 above the shoulders, and the count's 1-1.
Doktorzik gave up 2 earned and 2 1/3 out of the pen that day.
The 1-1 smacked up the middle and gets through the gap. Just a liner out of reach of Vieira's glove. And Petri has his first hit of the day.
Ball was smashed on a line right up the middle. Both teams have been using the middle of the field a good amount here through the early part of this game. A lot of it has found gloves. YD's still getting no hit right now through 4, but Cotuit is able to squeak one through, deservedly so, from Petri. That ball had some exit velo behind it.
Third hit of the day for the Kettleers. Doktorzik now from the stretch. The righty on righty, first pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 1. Glove at the face, Petri at the plate, takes his lead. This one on the ground to third, Gleed over to second, could be 2. And it is a really nice play from Gleed to turn that quickly. It was a liner, picked it up off the 1-hop over to Austin, and then Hines. 2 outs, cleared the bases for the Red Sox.
Got helped out a little bit on a liner that would have been really tough to catch next to the ground, but had his glove on it and knocked it down instead of catching it. That kind of froze the runners. He didn't want to move in case that ball was caught, and that allowed him to turn that 5-4-3.
Doktorzik, first pitch to Josh Pine, the 9-hitter, sails high. Pitch number 2 fouled back at us. The count's 1-1 with 2 outs. In the bottom of the 4th, Cotuit continues to lead the Red Sox 2-1. Now there's 2 gone after a double play turned in the infield. Doktorzik delivers, and he hits him. It actually did not hit him. He swung around. The ball got a piece of something, the bat or a glove. So it's strike 2 for the batter. That ball ricocheted to an unfortunate place that leaves Josh Pine in a little bit of pain.
Both trainers had to come out of the dugout there, but looks like both guys are okay. That ball just took a weird deflection, crossed over Dykstra behind the plate after taking that tip, and see the audible "I'm okay" from Josh Pine to our home plate umpire.
And he steps back in the righty batter's box, now calls time to readjust his shin guard. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Doktorzik sends on the ground towards third. Gleed in the glove, the throw in time, out number 3. YD works quickly. Doktorzik, a solid first inning in relief. We head to the top of the 5th. It's still 2-1 Kettleers on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 5th, Connor Dykstra leading off for the Red Sox. He's still facing Bryce Jenkins, who just came in, had a quick couple of pitches to end the 4th after coming in with 2 outs after just 3 batters. First pitch to Dykstra, away for ball 1. The infield evenly spaced, outfield playing deep. Second pitch outside, it's 2-0. Dykstra 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out in his first time around. It's his first time facing Jenkins. The kick and deal just clips the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Dykstra swinging the black and tan bat with the black and gold batting gloves. He's in his stance. The pitch fouled behind us, just over the head of Loma Vida, and the count evens up 2-2. Top of the 5th, Cotuit leads 2-1, the 2 top teams in the CCBL. It's popped up on the middle, a bouncer over to second. Kitei makes the throw in time. Dykstra just missed contact. It was a slow roller, bounced a couple of times, skipped over to Kitei. And Dykstra didn't have the time to beat it out. 1 down for the Red Sox, brings back RJ Austin, who has a pair of walks on the day, but he takes a first pitch strike. Jenkins sets, shakes one off. Now the pitch, just outside for ball 1. A nice hold from Austin. Jenkins working incredibly quickly, basically getting back into his motion right away. The 1-1 outside and low for ball 2. It's 2-1 with an out in the top of the 5th. Infield backed up to the grass. Austin looking for his first hit of the day. Instead, he takes strike 2, and the count evens up 2-2. Jenkins into the motion. He fires, swung on, and the foul tip drops out of the glove of Loma Vida. Austin gets another chance at life. Enzo Apodaca on deck. YD is being no-hit through 4. Austin trying to change that right now. The 2-2 on the way. Fouled back again. Count remains the same. Ten games, 12 hits for RJ Austin. Another 2-2 is grounded up towards first in the glove of Tobias. And he makes the out unassisted. Austin was hustling down that line and almost beat out Tobias, who was jogging over to the bag. But the routine play is made, and it's a quick 2 outs for the Red Sox, and Enzo Apodaca now up in the lefty box.
Really doesn't feel like YD's being no-hit with the amount of base runners that they've had, but man, balls getting put in play have just died for this team.
First pitch to Apodaca, fouled into the bleachers on the left side. The catch is made, the bare hand. Good stuff. Counts 0-1, 2 outs, top of the 5th, Apodaca. The second pitch on the way, fouled back towards the bleachers once again. This time falls behind a tent. No bare hand grab on that, 0-2. Apodaca in a bit of a hole, starting off the at-bat with 2 fouls. Infield shifted over to the right. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed, strike 3. Drop third strike, Loma Vida makes the tag, and it's 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. The no-hitter for Cotuit continues, and we head to the bottom of the 5th. Still 2-1 Kettleers at Lowell Park. Kalai Harrison, top of the order for the Kettleers. They only lead the Red Sox by 1. It's 2-1, despite the no-hitter from the Kettleers pitching staff. Jason Doktorzik back for his second inning of work after a quick first one. The first pitch to Harrison finds the zone, the fastball, strike 1. Regular infield, we haven't seen the aggressive shifting that's become the trademark of Coach Pickler. The analytics telling him to keep it evenly spaced. Doktorzik into the wind, the 0-1, just above the shoulders, and it's 1-1.
No shift. YD's playing with a little bit of depth here as Dub Gleed is on the infield grass at third playing for the bunt. Imagine if there's 2 strikes on, he'll back up.
The 1-1, high again, ball 2. Hines backed up a little bit behind first. He is guarding the line closely. Gleed jogging in. The 1-0 pushed out of play, 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, excuse me, to Kalai Harrison. The Hawaii native plays at NC State. Doktorzik delivers, and it's lined over to Gleed, makes the grab. YD will toss it around the horn.
Nice catch by Gleed. I think that he is really starting to settle onto this roster nicely. See what he's doing defensively, see now offensively what he's doing as well. He's driven and YD's only run in this game off a sac fly. Absolutely hammered one his last time at the plate. Just was a little bit foul, but I think Gleed is starting to really find his rhythm here this summer.
First pitch to Brock Wills. Breaking ball clips the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Wills 1 for 2, had a single in his first at-bat, grounded out the last time around. The kick and deal at the shoulders, it's 1-1. Infield way backed up, Austin playing a couple feet onto the grass. A big hole up the middle as Vieira shifted over towards second slightly. The 1-1 falls outside, it's 2-1 with 1 out. Top of the 5th, the score is 2-1, Cotuit at a packed Lowell Park on a warm night that's clearing up. We might get a good sunset, Lou. The 2-1 falls outside. It's 3-1. Wills wasn't sure what the call was, looked back to check, and it is a ball. Doktorzik has yet to give up a free pass. The pitch inside the zone, it's a full count. Really nice placement from Doktorzik on Wills. Would have been tough to swing at if he even made an attempt. Into the wind, the payoff. Fouled away, out of play, towards the bleachers again. The catch is dropped. Disappointing from the crowd.
It's interference when 4 people go for the same ball at once and it hits all their hands and nobody catches it.
Another 3-2 pitch on the way to Wills, and it's at the head, ball 4. A runner aboard with 1 out for Cole Mathis. He reached on a fielder's choice, or he was out on a fielder's choice because it ended the inning his first time around, and walked during his last at-bat. Mathis swinging the black bat. The first pitch drops into the zone, strike 1. Doktorzik has been starting out with first pitch strikes, and the count's fallen behind the last couple. Wills with a small lead on first. Bouncing around, gets the pickoff attempt, no tag put on. Really not much distance, he's just moving back and forth trying to mess with Doktorzik's head. Count still 0-1 with an out. Bottom of the 5th. 1 runner aboard. Doktorzik nods. Another snap throw to first. No play. Mathis out of the College of Charleston. Swings the bat below the knees. Waves a couple circles, and now he's back. Doktorzik, glove at the head, the shoulder shrug, and the pitch. Hits him. 2 free passes in a row now for Jason Doktorzik. Started out with a strike, and that one right to the shoulder.
If it weren't for the free passes in this game, it would be a 0-0 ball game, and we'd be in like the 8th inning by now. It's just interesting from a pitching performance that's been pretty strong. Looking at the hitting performance against them, it's odd that there have been this many free bags given up on both sides. A lot of walks, a lot of hit by pitches in this game.
2 runners aboard now for Carter Matheson, and he swings towards left field. It's going to drop fair. That's going to be extra bases. Cook coming around, throws in, and the relay gets away. 1 comes around to score, and the Kettleers lead 3-1. Really well-placed ball from Matheson, curved through the air away from Cook, drops in left field, continued to roll foul. Runners on second and third. Still just 1 out. Doktorzik has now given up a run. It's 3-1. That was the 4th hit of the day for Cotuit. First pitch grounded through the gap from Jacob Tobias. 1 runner scores. It's 4-1. And Matheson's held up at third. Took a hard turn, but the stop sign was put up. Before we could even introduce him, Jacob Tobias just rips one through the gap. It's split between Gleed and Vieira. Neither of them really made an attempt at it. I think they just thought either the other one would or that they didn't have a chance.
Yeah, the YD infield came in and got punished for it. One disadvantage to having the infield in is there's not much room for error if the ball's not hit right at you, and that just split them right down the middle. If they're backed up on the edge of the dirt, that might be a play you can make for an out, but you're trying to save a run, and when it splits you, end up giving up 2.
4-1 to McCoy, a first pitch strike from Doktorzik. Runners on the corners now. It's 4-1 Cotuit. Still in the bottom of the 5th. It's been the best inning for either team so far. First time we've seen hits strung together. Doktorzik set. He winds and delivers high for ball 1. Infield playing at a medium depth. Austin on the edge of the grass. Vieira a couple steps in front. Hines guarding Tobias on first. McCoy 0 for 1 with a walk. The 1-1 fouled behind us into the backstop. One and 2, still just 1 out. Tobias on first, Matheson on third. Both of them responsible for RBIs. This inning, the 2-1, or the 1-2 drops outside, and it's 2-2. No strikeouts from Doktorzik yet. The 2-2 to McCoy on the way. Chopped foul. Foul tip into Connor Dykstra's glove. And the out is called.
Gonna meet the umpires here. Mike Roberts not very happy, and pretty clear explanation coming from the base umpire who got a good view of it. So it was a foul tip that hit Dykstra's glove. He didn't squeeze it in the glove, but he trapped it against his leg with his free hand, and so it's still an out.
What a play behind the plate from Dykstra. A very important second out with runners threatening on the corners. Now Emilian Pitre, who had a single his last time around, at the plate trying to add on for the Kettleers. His black and tan bat wiggling behind his head. The first pitch. Breaking ball drops inside, ball 1. Kitei has the royal blue sliding glove representing the Kentucky Wildcats. Blue skies above us now for the first time as the sun begins to set. Counts 1-0, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Doktorczyk delivers. Popped up foul, out of play. The count moves to 1-1. Hines guarding Tobias at first. Matheson not guarded at all at third, but still with a conservative lead. The 1-1. At the top of the zone, a called strike 2, and Kitei is behind in the count. Vieira shifted all the way over, almost behind second. Huge gap in the 5-6 hole. Austin back in the shallow in outfield. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner bluffs. And I'm actually not really sure what just happened. Tobias takes second.
He just took the base and he was trying to draw a throw. So he stopped halfway in between first and second. And Doktorczyk kept looking at the runner on third, waiting for him to break to the plate, and decided it was just okay to give him the bag.
The 1-2 just falls outside. Count evens up.
Because with 2 outs, if Tobias could stay in a rundown for long enough that Matheson was able to score, even if he gets tagged out, he just has to wait for Matheson to score, and then he can get the tag put on him and the run would count.
The 2-2, below the knee is another full count.
So Doktorczyk made the executive decision, I guess, that it's just okay to let him into scoring position.
Gets rid of the force in the infield. Only force bag is now at first. Runners on second and third. Full count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, Cotuit leads 4-1. They've tacked on 2 this inning. Doktorczyk deals. High, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Coach Pickler coming out of the dugout. That only means one thing as the infield jogs in. We will likely see a call to the bullpen. Doktorczyk is shrugging his shoulders, speaking with Coach Pickler. Sometimes we do see him come out, speak to the pitcher, and if the pitcher can convince him that he can finish the inning, he'll stay, but today that is not the case. Pickler takes the ball. It's a call to the bullpen for the Red Sox. So we head to a quick break. Cotuit leads 4-1. 2 outs gone in the bottom of the 5th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Caleb Lomavita will be the first to face Blake Ida, one of two Kennesaw State hurlers on the Red Sox. Through 5 games and 8.1 innings pitched, he has a 2.16 ERA, 4 hits allowed. Coming in to a bases loaded jam with 2 outs, facing a new batter. The first pitch on the way is in the dirt. A nice block from Dykstra keeps the ball in front. The infield is backed up to the grass. Force at any base, outfield playing deep. Trying to keep this one in front, the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. It's getting loud at Lowell Park in support of the hometown Kettleers. The runners take their leads, none of them very big, none of them being guarded by a Red Sox player. The 2-0 fouled towards us, just clipped the top of the bat. Poked away from Lomavita. Was 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch misses outside. It's 3 balls and a strike. Ida at risk of walking one home. He takes a deep breath, swinging the right arm, now set. Glove at the belt, the kick and deal. Inside, ball 4, and Cotuit walks one home. The score is 5-1. Tough start to the outing for Blake Ida, who has been really solid for YD out of the bullpen. Usually goes a couple of innings in relief. It's tough coming into a bases loaded situation. But walking the first batter faced is not how you want to go. Brings up Josh Pine in the 9th spot. Same situation, bases loaded. First pitch on the way. Outside, ball 1.
Just over halfway through the game, 7 free passes is not something you like to see from YD.
They had double-digit free passes in the blowout loss to Orleans a couple of nights ago. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball in the bottom of the zone for strike 1.
It's a good frame from Dykstra. He's a pretty solid framer behind the plate, and that's what you need in a situation like this with your back against the wall. A pitcher that is just dealt out that walk. He's trying to paint edges. Make sure you're getting those calls.
The 0-1 drops inside. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Ida could end it with a pitch. Runners take their leads. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Cotuit has broken this one open. It's 5-1. Pitch on the way. A cold strike 3 on the outside corner, just sneaks in there, and Blake Ida works out of the bases loaded jam after walking one home. But Cotuit has done some damage. They've tacked on 3 in the 5th. They lead 5-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. New pitcher on the bump for Cotuit. It's Jacob Schaefer out of UNC Wilmington. Really tall frame, stands at 6'8", has made just 1 appearance in 3 innings pitched. 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, and a strikeout. And he faces Max Vieira, the 3-hitter for the Red Sox. YD being no hit through 5 innings. Top of the 6th, trying to break it. First pitch to Vieira, hammered into center field, and it drops for a base hit. So Max Vieira ends the no-hitter on the first pitch of the inning. And that brings up Hunter Hines.
All right, time to open the floodgates for YD, right? You get that first base hit. Pressure maybe comes off now. Can start to swing a little bit freer.
Hines, the league leader in home runs and RBIs. First pitch to him, swung on and missed, strike 1. Vieira taking a small lead at first. He has 10 stolen bases this season. We haven't seen a steal attempt from Coach Pickler. There haven't been very many base runners. But we might see Loma Vida being challenged. The 0-1 fouled out of play. Hines down 0-2, swinging his head about that. Black batting gloves to match his black elbow guard and shin guard. Hines, the first team All-SEC selection out of Mississippi State. Takes a couple of miniature swings, now back in his stance. The 0-2 from Schaefer, above the shoulders, ball 1. We haven't seen a pickoff towards first. Vieira taking a conservative lead, trying to protect the base runners. 1-2, Schaefer deals. Swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Hines, his second of the day. And that'll bring up Dub Gleed, responsible for YD's only run with a sacrifice fly in the first.
It's a guy that I think you could bring in a spot like this and try to start a rally. Gleed, I think, is due for a hit.
We've certainly seen him put the barrel to the ball. Unfortunately for him, it's been just fouled a couple of times. We have seen that. Back in his stance in the righty box. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. First pitch. Falls inside, ball 1. A ball, no strikes, and an out in the top of the 6th. The Kettleers lead 5-1 at Lowell Park. Schaefer, the 4th pitcher of the day for the Kettleers. The 1-0 swung on and missed. Gleed goes golfing on a ball in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Schaefer shakes it off, checks his runner. Vieira grows the lead slightly. The 1-1 just falls on the outside corner of the zone. A called strike 2. It's the pitch Gleed thought the last pitch that he swung at was going to be. This time he holds off and receives the consequences. 1-2, 1 out, runner on first. The pitch on the way, grounded up towards short. Could be 2, throw at second, throw at first, and it is. Gleed grounds into a double play. And the leadoff hit from Vieira is erased. YD goes 1-2-3 once again as Schaefer faces the minimum. We go to the bottom of the 6th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Ida is back for the Red Sox. Came in with 2 outs and bases loaded in the 5th, gave up 1, walked home. Those base runners were inherited, so it won't go against his earned run average. So it's Kalai Harrison again, the leadoff for the Kettleers. It's their 4th time through the lineup. In the bottom of the 6th, YD broke the no-hitter bid in the top of the 6th. The first pitch in the dirt almost clips the foot of Kalai Harrison, but he gets out of the way. Vieira started off with a single on the first pitch of the inning. After that, it went quickly. The 1-0 grounded up the middle off the glove of Ida. Gleed won't have a play. It bounced up off the mound. Ida ricochets towards Gleed. He thought he could have a chance on the bare hand, but mishandles it. Might be scored as a hit. It was a tough play. And Harrison just legged it out. Brock Wills shows bunt and pulls back on ball 1. Wills out of UNCW. It was a conference All-America, all-freshman team. The first, another pitch drops low for ball 2. Ida taking his time, not working nearly as quickly as the Cotuit hurlers have been. A small lead from Harrison on first. He's back on the bag and now steps off. Ida checks him. The 2-0 falls outside. It's 3-0. Don't expect to see the green light here from Wills. He taps the plate, taps his cleat, and now he's back into his stance with the maroon bat, wiggling it around. A 3-0, fastball burns the top of the zone, strike 1. No outs in the bottom of the 6th. Cotuit trying to add to a sizable lead. The first time these two teams faced, Cotuit took a big lead. YD had a valiant comeback effort that fell a little short, shows bunt on ball 4. And there's 2 aboard for the Kettleers.
YD right now just can't seem to get out of their own way. Another walk in a game against the West Division's best. You're going to have to bring your best, and for YD, it just hasn't been there today. Still time to turn it around, though.
Another bunt shown and laid down. Ida has it, makes the throw to third, and gets the force. Really important out. The lead runner. A really heads-up play from Ida. He got to that ball quickly. Looked at first for a second, but turned, made a snap throw. And that's out number 1.
You'll take that if you're Ida. That's a free out that you just got gifted. A bunt that goes right up to you. Make the play to third. Get the same situation, just 1 out closer to getting out of this for Blake. And it's always nice as a reliever to get a gift like that.
So runners on first and second for Matheson, who takes strike 1 down the pipe. He had an RBI double his last time around, absolutely smashed it to left field. Now wiggling his hips, swings the bat back onto his shoulders parallel with the ground. Ida set at the knees. Wills jumping around on second. Snap throw from Vieira. Almost gets away from him. Vieira had to reach around Wills' back to make the grab. Could have been dangerous. Everyone resets. No balls and a strike, 1 out. The pitch drops low for ball 1. It's back to Ida quickly. Infield pinched in towards the middles. Big hole between second and third. It's 1-1. Ida deals. Fastball, strike 2. He checks his runner at second. Vieira's still over there. The outfield playing as deep as they possibly could be, trying to keep everything in front. The 1-2. Popped up foul and out of play towards the bleachers, just behind the bleachers. Looked like there might have been a play on it at first, but it just kept carrying. The wind at Lowell Park is blowing straight out. We haven't seen many long balls hit to the deep outfield from either team.
I have to feel that this park plays somewhat small, though, given that Cotuit is near the top of the league in home runs here with YD.
The 1-2, chopped up towards Ida. He has it, gets the play at second. Lead runner not out. Vieira bluffs at the throw. He had to dig it out of the ground on the toss from Ida. So runners on the corners now, 2 outs. Wills took a big turnaround third. Vieira pump fakes, so he holds up. And Matheson reaches on the fielder's choice.
Good to see after some defensive issues for YD throughout the early part of the season, and even over these early few innings. This has been a nice defensive inning for them, getting that lead runner on that bunt, and Blake Ida having the presence there to turn that to second instead of just going to first for the out.
Fresh count to Jacob Tobias, and strike 1 is at the hips. The lefty facing the righty. Tobias, the Sun Devil, is 2 for 3. He's had a good day, 2 singles. Strike 2 breaks in, and Tobias faces an 0-2 count. It's still 5-1, but Cotuit threatens. Runners on the corners, 0-2 count with 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Ida set into the wind. The pitch hammered into right field on a line. That will score 1. The runners hold up at first and second, and Cotuit adds to the lead at 6-1. Tobias now 3 for 4 on the day. That ball was hit really hard.
Yeah, just a hammer job into right field. Got a pitch he liked, and Tobias has had himself a day at the plate. 3 of Cotuit's 7 hits on his own, and the Kettleers continue to keep a stranglehold on this game.
First run that will go against Ida's record. Fresh count for James McCoy. First pitch drops outside for ball 1. McCoy in the 6th spot. Cotuit has gone almost all the way through the order. Loma Vita started things off. There's just Emilian Pitre left between McCoy and him. The 1-0 falls inside. It's 2-0. The lefty with the black bat, swinging it below his knees. Ida nods. McCoy back into his stance. The kick and deal drops above the zone. It's a 3-0 count. Ida trying to avoid another free pass. The pitch above the shoulders, a 4-pitch walk. And the bases are loaded once again for the Kettleers as Dykstra comes out to check on his pitcher. 2 outs with runners on the corners. One of those was scored. Now there's 2 outs with bases loaded, and Cotuit doesn't seem to be slowing down. The quick visit from Dykstra now complete. Ida back on the bump, trying to close this one out on his own. I imagine we'll see a new pitcher in the bottom of the 7th from YD. Once Ida can make that first pitch to Pitre, strike 1.
And you wonder how much longer Ida can go. You have the off day tomorrow, so you'll get to rest him. If he throws under 40 pitches, he's probably okay to go the day after that against Hyannis if needed.
The 0-1. Just inside, a nearly identical pitch, just a couple inches off the plate. It's 1-1. Pitre 1 for 2, also reached on a walk. Ida shakes off the call from Dykstra. Now set from the stretch. The 1-1. Breaking ball drops in for strike 2. Pitre yet to swing the bat. Might have to now. Blake Ida trying to end Cotuit's threats here. The 1-2 just off the corner. Ida was walking off the mound. He thought it would be a called strike 3. But instead, it's 2-2 for Petrie. Bat straight up. Now back on the shoulders, wiggling. Ida, the pitch swung on and missed. He went around strike 3. Ida records his first strikeout, strands the bases loaded, but Cotuit adds one on. It's 6-1 Kettleers as we go to the top of the 7th. For YD, they'll go 6-7-8 when we come back on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the 7th inning here from Cotuit. Luke West-Poley with Perri Kitei. It's 6-1. Kettleers leading over YD. Nathan Archer leads off for the Red Sox. Hammered a ball to the warning track his last time up on a line. That was caught by James McCoy. Schaefer retakes the mound and fires the first pitch. This one lined right side. Jumping catch at second made by Petrie. And the YD bats continue to be robbed of hits. Quickly one gone in the top of the 7th.
Looked good off the bat, but didn't get enough height to leave the infield. Petrie was right on that line.
Get a pinch hitter here for Jacob Christian as it's the other Jacob Jenkins Cowart, that will hit for him. The lefty out of East Carolina. First pitch to him on the way. Rolled over towards the first base side. It's smothered by Tobias. He will trot it over to the bag himself, and it's 2 pitches, 2 outs for the Kettleers here in the 7th. Now Casey Cook, bases empty, 2 gone. Still 6-1 Kettleers here from Lowell Park. Middle innings lasted very, very long in this game. Cotuit brought across 4 insurance runs during that time after they led 2-1 after 4. First pitch to Casey. High and away for ball 1. Cook is 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking and a ground out to short. (1-0) on the way. Breaking ball bumped foul. Rolls our way, hits off the fence right in front of us. It's a ball and a strike from Jacob Schaefer pitching into Casey Cook. 1-1. High at the shoulders, ball 2. Schaefer out for his second inning of work. Started the 6th inning, gave up a leadoff knock to Max Vieira. That ended the combined no-hit bid for Cotuit, but he promptly got a strikeout and a double play to face the minimum. 2-1 to Casey. Takes strike 2 on the outside corner. ID bats haven't been ice cold today, but everything they've put in play has found a glove somewhere. Into the wind, Schaefer's 2-2. Breaking ball chopped up towards third, running a long way. That ball's foul. Pines playing off the line to the opposite field for Casey Cook. If that ball was fair, might have spelled extra bases on a ball that couldn't have been hit more than 50, 60 miles an hour off the bat. Instead, it dribbles foul, and it's 2-2 to Casey Cook. On deck for YD, Connor Dykstra 0 for 2. Schaefer brings the glove up, the 2-2 wind and fire. Cook blasts this one out towards left center field, coming over. Matheson in the gap makes the catch, and that retires the side. Jacob Schaefer makes quick work of the YD bats in the 7th inning. Time to stretch here from Lowell Park. It's 6-1 Cotuit. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. The Armageddon Red Sox want to thank Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists for sponsoring this broadcast. Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists provide premier emergency and specialty care for your beloved companions. They are located in Dennis and Buzzards Bay and are open 24 hours a day. Last of the 7th here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei as always. Thanks for joining us. Happy 4th of July weekend. We will be off the air tomorrow for the Cape League scheduled off day. Couple of games going on around the league, but YD will not be in action. They will be back in 2 nights as they take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in their first trip to McKeon Park. 6-1 is the score. Cotuit leading YD. Blake Ida's back out to the bump for the Red Sox, and he will face the 8-9-1 hitters in the order. Brady Day taking over at second base for RJ Austin for YD. We have seen Scott Pickler go to this for a little bit. Austin is moving out to left field, and I believe Casey Cook has stayed out there somewhere. First pitch drops down low for ball 1 to Caleb Lomavita. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in this game.
Looks like Cook in right field. Apodaca might be in the dugout still.
Next pitch rather on the way, swing and a miss. Tug the string with the off speed, and Lomavita was out in front of it. It's 1-1. Bases empty, nobody out to the leadoff man in the 7th. Pitch popped up and out of play right over our heads. That one almost went in the cornhole, but instead just lands on the grass. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Caleb Lomavita. Blake Ida trying to eat up some innings here late for YD. 1-2. Yanked outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Second inning in a row that Lomavita is leading off after Cotuit went through the whole lineup in the 6th.
2-2. Nubbed foul off the end of the bat. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full day of Cape League action. All 10 teams are playing tonight. And all eyes, as they have been for the last week or so, on the Harwich Mariners for YD. 2-2. Laced left side, but foul. As that one twisted up the line, and Lomavita will be back in the box for another 2-2 pitch momentarily. Brewster leading Chatham 6-3 from Stony Brook Field. That game in the bottom of the 7th inning. In the bottom of the 3rd, Bourne on top of Falmouth 5-1. In cross-divisional play, Harwich and Hyannis tied up at 3. Of course, eyes on that game. YD still clinging to a half-game lead over the Mariners after both teams won yesterday. For Harwich, it was against these Cotuit Kettleers. 2-2 pitch, high at the shoulders. Ever so slight movement by Lomavita, but he held his hands up and the count is full. Orleans leading Wareham 4-0 from Eldridge Park in the bottom of the 3rd. 3-2, drops low for ball 4. Lomavita works his 2nd straight walk. The free passes continue to haunt YD. And that will bring up Josh Pine, the third baseman, out of the 9-hole. Nobody out and a runner on first in the bottom of inning number 7. Cotuit still in front by 5. Pine is 0 for 3. Ida looks over at first. Now he sets. Pitch on the way. Zip down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Ida set above the belt. Low stance in the batter's box from Pine. The pitch. Reached for and grounded up the middle. Day has it at second. Backhand flip onto second for the lead runner, but the double play broken up on a nice slide by Loma Vida. There will be no throw from Vieira to first. Pine reaches on the fielder's choice, and that turns the Cotuit lineup over. 1 out with a runner on first for Kalai Harrison.
It's a nice little shuffle toss from Day over to Vieira. He picked that up off a few bounces. It was a slow roller, had to work quickly, and he did just in time.
Harrison is 1 for 4. Reached on an error in the first and scored a run, a single his last time. First pitch to him. Misses below the zone for ball 1. A ball and no strikes. To the lefty batter. Now the pitch. Cranked up in the air and foul. Ball and a strike to Harrison, native of Hawaii, playing at NC State. Behind a little bit on his average, riding his 1 for 4 days, a 350 hitter, 1-1 pitch. Just misses off the inner half of the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Two and 1, the count. And Harrison sees it come in. Rips it right side, caught by Hunter Hines. The runner is dead to rights. He steps on the bag, and it's a 3 unassisted double play to retire the side. How about that? So we head to the 8th, maybe a little momentum for YD to work off. They still trail by 5. It's 6-1 Kettleers. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 8th inning in a 6-1 game led by Cotuit. Really nice play to end the inning from YD's Hunter Hines, who caught a liner, stepped on first for a rare 3 unassisted double play. Connor Dykstra is the batter for YD. And the first pitch to him on the way. He wraps it foul. Schaefer back to the bump for Cotuit, trying to ride this one into the sunset as it begins to get dark. Guess you could say literally here from Lowell Park Sky beginning to turn darker blue. 0-1 pitch to Dykstra. Swing and a miss. On the ball down in the dirt, he goes chasing, and he's down 0-2.
2 ground outs on the day for Dykstra. Just the 3rd time through the order for YD.
No balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox haven't scored since the first. The pitch drops low, 1-2. A lot of exciting stuff this week in the works for this Red Sox team and what's going on around the team as a 1-2 pitch comes in. And swing and a miss. Dykstra goes down on the strikeout. 7th by the Cotuit pitching staff. 2nd by Jacob Schaefer. Top of the order coming up for YD. RJ Austin up with the bases empty and 1 out. Today you had the meeting between the 2 teams that sit at the top of the standings in each division, Cotuit and YD. The off day tomorrow, and then big 4th of July game against Hyannis. First pitch to Austin on the inner corner for strike 1. So not only will they see Hyannis for the first time, but always a treat to play in that 4th of July game with a lot of eyes on games around the league. A lot of people expected to be there. 0-1. That finds the bottom of the zone for strike 2. And then coming up on Saturday with this 100th anniversary season of the Cape Cod Baseball League, each team has a celebration of their own. YD's will be this Saturday against Wareham. 0-2 pitch drops low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. There will be a commemorative lithograph that will be available for purchase from Frankie Galasso, a sports artist from the New England area, featuring famed players from YD since its founding in the 1940s. 1-2 comes up high at the shoulders for ball 2. There will also be a very, very, very special surprise announcement. Don't want to miss that. That's coming up on Saturday, a 4:45 start from Red Wilson Field. Get there early this weekend. 2-2, called strike 3 against RJ Austin. Back-to-back strikeouts to kick off the inning, and the woes continue for the YD Bats, who are 1 out away from going cold in the 8th.
In all likelihood, that ends Austin's hit streak of every game since he started. It went 10, and unless things change drastically, it will go no more.
Brady Day hitting for Enzo Apodaca. First pitch to him. Misses on the inner half of the plate for ball 1. So Perry's theory correct from the last inning that it was Apodaca who's coming out of the game. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Check swing on a pitch down low. He went around. And so that evens the count at 1-1. Enzo finishes the day 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts after he got hit by a pitch back in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the deal. Swing and a miss. He got a piece of it. And that's strike 2. Don't think that after the first inning, where YD had the bases loaded with nobody out, we'd end up seeing an offensive performance like this. Just 1 run off, 1 hit for the Red Sox in this one. 1-2 pitch. Cracked foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes still to Brady Day, sitting .222 this year. Yesterday was 0 for 3 with a pair of flyouts and a strikeout in the start. Started the last couple of games for YD. 1-2 pitch, sinks low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Game before that, he had a solid day, was 2 for 4, probably his best game of the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tall frame on the mound. Jacob Schaefer, the 6'8" righty, winds up and fires. Lined up left side. That's a base hit into left field. So Brady Day gets YD their 2nd hit of the day. And that prolongs the inning here with 2 outs. And moves a runner on first for Max Vieira, who has YD's other hit that came his last time up back in the 6th.
Just a nice piece of hitting. A liner to opposite field. Drops in front of Wills. Similarly to Vieira's hit, just pops over the heads of the infield.
Vieira is 1 for 2 with that single. Also has a walk. Runner on first, 2 outs. Schaefer out of the stretch, fires home. Pitch slides off the plate for ball 1. Schaefer has had to throw from the stretch 1 time, as the first batter he faced was Max Vieira back in the 6th, who singled. Eventually, Schaefer drew a double play out of that, so he's gone through the entire YD lineup once. Has struck out 3 in that span and given up 2 hits. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Some late action on that pitch. Dropped it below Vieira's bat, and it's a ball and a strike. One and 1, the count to Max Vieira. Standing tall in the righty box. And pitch. chopper up the middle over the head of a leaping Schaefer onto second. The flip to get the lead runner is in time from Petrie to Harrison, and that retires the side. Whitey gets a 2-out hit, but doesn't do anything for him, and as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning, it's still 6-1 Cotuit here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. (6-1) our score. Cotuit leading YD in the bottom of the 8th inning. Luke Poley with Perri Kitei. Scott Pickler calls to his bullpen. Cole Hilliard takes over for Blake Ida. The two kind of split de facto closer duties through the early part of the season, but coming in a game that Cotuit has been in control of the whole time. First pitch dealt in, a check swing and a sword from Brock Wills, who goes around for strike one. Hilliard has thrown 4 1/3 this season, hasn't given up an earned run, and has fanned 6 batters at a Point Loma Nazarene. 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaks outside, a ball and a strike. Brock Wills has walked each of his last 2 times and has scored a run, both trips to the base paths. He also singled in the first. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch misses outside, 2-1. Crowd is somewhat made its way to the exits, so we've made our way to the late innings here. 2-1 the count, and the pitch on the way. Rolled foul. Announced over the PA during the inning break that it was the largest 50-50. They do 50-50 raffles at every ballpark here in the Cape League. Largest 50-50 raffle they've had in a regular season game in a decade, if that gives you any idea how many people are here today. 2-2 pitch. Pushed foul on the opposite side over towards the left. Gets by Mike Roberts over in the third base coach's box and all the way to the sidewall. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brock Wills. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wills goes down. That's the first strikeout for Cole Hilliard. Continues to be on his strong strikeout pace of over 1 batter per inning. 5th strikeout overall by YD pitching today. 1 out for Cole Mathis with the bases empty. First pitch to the righty. Comes in on him for ball 1. So YD will look to reset. Still got a chance in the 9th as the 1-0 pitch comes in. Finds the outside corner for strike 1, barring anything large in terms of comeback efforts, which this team has done a couple of times this year. Look to reset in the off day tomorrow. Get ready for Hyannis for the first time. 1-1 pitch. Crushed foul on the ground. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, Hyannis will have to play. They will play a rescheduled game against Orleans, and also Harwich will play a rescheduled game against Chatham. So YD, who's been in 1 point up on the Mariners this whole time. 1-2 pitch. Rolled over towards third. Gleed charging in on it and throws to first for the second out. Harwich is 1 point behind YD, but they've played one less game. That 1 point that YD holds over them is because of a tie that the Red Sox have that Harwich doesn't. Both teams have 11 wins and 7 losses. But that game will be made up tomorrow, so the teams will be equal in terms of games played. Harwich also leading right now 4-3 in their game today, so they could take over first place in the division by night's end. First pitch misses down low to Carter Matheson for ball 1. Hyannis, on the other hand, will have to play Orleans tomorrow before taking on YD with the Red Sox fresh off an off day in a couple of nights. 6 p.m. start on the 4th of July, 1-0. Drops low and in, 2 balls, no strikes. Eric Yost projected to get the ball for the Red Sox to make his second start of the season. Will face off against Hayden Frank for Hyannis. 2-0 pitch to Matheson on the way. Lifted foul. 2 balls and a strike to Matheson batting out of the cleanup spot. He's 1 for 3 with a double that came back in the 5th inning. Really put this game fully in Cotuit's hands with that 2-bagger. 2-1. Down near the knees. 3 balls and a strike. YD with the shift on. 3 on the right side of the infield. 3 balls and a strike to the left-handed swinging Carter Matheson. Pitch on the way. Crushed out to deep left center field. Cook coming over and backing up makes the catch. And that retires the side. So 1-2-3 go the Kettleers in the 8th. Last chance for YD coming up. They're in a 5-run hole as we head to the 9th. Middle of the order coming up when we return. It'll be Hines, Gleed, Archer when we come back. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Top of the 9th inning here from Lowell Park in Cotuit. 6-1 the score with the Kettleers leading YD. Hunter Hines leads off for the Red Sox against a new pitcher, Isaac Martinez. The lefty at a UC San Diego takes the ball for Mike Roberts, looking to slam the door on this one. Exclusively out of the stretch, he throws the first pitch to Hines. A breaking ball that drops in the dirt. Hines holds his swing, ball 1. Martinez this season, 4 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, a 2.25 ERA for the Triton from UC San Diego. native of Glendora, California. 1-0 to Hines. Crushed out to deep right field, but foul. Ball gets into the woods. Hines got all of that pitch and then some, but was just a little out in front of it. Hunter has struck out twice, both swinging right down the middle of those 2 strikeouts, a fly out to the left for him. Game that has just seen 2 hits for the Red Sox. 1 run that came in a hitless first inning. 1-1 pitch on the way. Slides off the plate, 2-1. Isaac Martinez, spelled I-Z-A-A-K. Very unique spelling. Entering his 5th year of college. 2.84 ERA this spring. 2-1 pitch. This one is launched out to deep right field. And not giving it a look, this one is going to drop foul for McCoy. No, it's in fair territory. We can't even see the pole. That ball looked like it was going to get foul, but it just stayed inside, and it's a home run. So Hunter Hines blasts one over the right field wall. I apologize. We have no view over there. That ball looked to be clearly blowing foul. The wind going in the opposite direction, though, might have helped it out in keeping it fair. It's his 8th deep fly of the season. And YD maybe with a little life here in the 9th. I thought for sure that ball was going foul. He didn't even run it out. Right fielder James McCoy just kind of looked over at it and didn't run.
I think it's because he knew whether it was foul or not. It was clearing the fence.
And so that will bring a catcher out to the mound to speak with Isaac Martinez. That might have been the worst home run call in Cape League history. Oh, well. 6-2 now our score in the 9th. 3rd hit of the game for YD. Bases are empty in a 6-2 game with Dub Gleed standing in. He has grounded into a double play and flown out twice, one of them a sac fly. Following that pitcher-catcher conference, Mike Roberts is out of the Cotuit dugout and might call to the bullpen here as there's a righty whipping throws in over on the left side.
Martinez has only faced 1 batter. Is the rule different coming out of an inning break?
Yeah, I don't think that he would be permitted unless it was for injury to get taken out of the game because of the batter minimum. But right now it's just a chat between him and Mike Roberts. I think the rule is that you need to face at least 3 unless you're coming out for injury. Roberts hasn't taken the ball yet. The home plate umpire is out to break up this mound visit, and Roberts actually is going to call to his bullpen, so maybe not. Just 1 batter faced for Isaac Martinez, and a sour start and end to his day as it's a deep fly for Hunter Hines. And Cotuit, not taking any chances here in the 9th, will give the ball to a new arm. 6-2 our score. We're back in a moment from Lowell Park. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. New pitcher taking the ball is Jansen Kiesel out of Oklahoma State for the Kettleers. There is no batter minimum, so that's why they were able to call to their bullpen. Not a rule in college yet. Bases are empty for Dub Gleed in a 6-2 game. First pitch to him on the way. And it sinks low for ball one. So Isaac Martinez with the infinity ERA on the appearance. He's had a solid start to the year, so it'll not go against his resume too poorly, but didn't record an out and gave up a home run. 1-0 pitch. Misses in. 2 balls, no strikes. Kiesel lost the hat. This YD team has had a tendency to make games like this very, very testy late. Would not be surprised to see the Red Sox try to make a run at this here in the 9th. 2 balls and no strikes. Kiesel fires. That one's off the plate for ball 3. 8 innings pitched for him so far this season. 4.5 ERA for the Cowboy at Oklahoma State. Played his freshman year in 2022 for the BYU Cougars before transferring over to play in Stillwater. 3-0 pitch to Gleed. Right down the middle for strike 1. Kiesel is a native of Utah from Gunnison. (3-1) drops down and in for ball 4.
YD loves to make it interesting in the late innings, and today is no different. They will not go down quietly. It's Nathan Archer, who has 3 home runs of his own, certainly has power in the bat. He's had some good contact today, but couldn't find the gaps.
So don't mail it in just yet. Kiesel and Archer, first pitch. Down and in for ball 1. This year, Kiesel has appeared in 2 games. They were both starts. This is his first bullpen appearance. Through 5 innings against Hyannis, 3 against Brewster. That game against Brewster just 4 days ago. 1-0 pitch. Outside for ball 2. He has walked 5 batters in 8 innings, given up 7 hits. So the whip a little bit over 1. 2 balls and no strikes to Archer. And pitch. That snaps the inner corner for strike 1. Crowd gives some applause of approval. Archer trying to break an 0 for 3 day. Now would be the time to do it here in the 9th. 6-2 our score. Cotuit leading YD. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-1 pitch to Archer incoming. High and away for ball 3. And Jansen Kiesel at risk of putting Archer on and putting the tying run on deck.
On deck is Xander Darby. It will be another pinch hitter. Darby's been really hot at the plate.
Chase Hopewell up and warming in the Cotuit bullpen. 3-1 pitch on the way. Outside ball 4. Back-to-back walks dealt out by Jansen Kiesel. Mike Roberts took a step out of his dugout and then thought better of it and went back into the dugout. Nope, he's coming out now. And so he will potentially take the ball here, and Cotuit may bring in Chase Hopewell. Looks like they are. The hard-throwing righty out of the University of Cincinnati comes into the game for YD. 6-2 our score, and we step aside here from Lowell Park as a new pitcher likely going to take the ball. Here comes Chase Hopewell out of the left field, and we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Chase Hopewell takes the ball for YD, or for Cotuit rather, as YD trying to make a late rally here in this 9th inning. 6-2 our score. Red Sox have first and second, nobody out. The batter will be another pinch hitter. No, it will not be. I beg your pardon. It's going to be Jenkins Cowart. No, it is going to be Xander Darby. He's wearing Jenkins Cowart's number. He was announced as Jenkins Cowart last time up, but regardless, he will take over and try to keep this rally going. Chase Hopewell, the hard-throwing righty out of the University of Cincinnati, has a lot of experience in relief roles in summer ball, served as the closer for the last 2 years in the Great Lakes League for Hamilton, won a pair of championships. Of course, I would know quite a bit about that. 3.11 ERA for Chase this season on the Cape, 8 2/3 innings pitched and 9 strikeouts. Throws fastball, slider, changeup, with the fastball in the mid to upper 90s. The long, flowing blonde hair. Looks like Noah Syndergaard out there on the mound. Xander Darby, a guy who's been seeing the ball well lately for YD and coming up in a big spot. Red Sox have just 3 hits on the game, one of them coming in this inning, a Hunter Hines home run. And so Xander Darby, the left-handed swinger, in to face Chase Hopewell. Hopewell leaning back, fires in the first pitch, and he spiked it for ball 1.
Hopewell looked a little wild warming up here. He spiked a few, got some past Loma Vida. They were up at the head. Interested to see how he does here. He had a short warm-up period in the bullpen.
1-0 pitch on the way, and that misses down and away for ball 2. He's one of those relief pitchers that really just thrives off of energy. There are 2 types of pitchers. There are the focus pitchers and the hype pitchers, and he's a hype pitcher for sure. A lot of emotion on the mound, throws very hard, as we mentioned. Still trying to find the zone here. 2-0, the pitch. Fastball in the outer corner for strike 1. Two balls, 1 strike to Xander Darby. He's wearing Jacob Jenkins Cowart's uniform. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Outside for ball 3. And it's 3 balls and a strike. We immediately, when the last 2 relievers in Isaac Martinez and Jansen Kiesel were brought up, there was a reliever warming right behind them, but nobody right now up in the Cotuit bullpen. This is Chase Hopewell's game for now. 3-1 pitch. Fastball right down the heart for strike 2. And it's a full count.
I mean, Hopewell is already the 8th pitcher of the game for Cotuit. I think you get to a point where you can't bring more out of your bullpen, especially if you need them to play. There is an off day, but 8 pitchers in a game is almost unheard of.
3-2, cracked foul. That pitch was certainly close. Looked like it had some late drop to it that would have brought it into the zone.
Yeah, that was a solid defensive swing from Darby.
First and second, nobody out. 3-2 the count to Xander Darby in a 6-2 game led by Cotuit. A breath from Hopewell. Look at second. Now he fires. Called strike 3 on the inner corner. Darby passed the bat aside, but Hopewell paints the black there and gets the strikeout. He's a K specialist and records the first out of the inning.
That's a controversial call. That looked really close to the inside of the plate. Darby certainly thought so, and he had the best look at it. But 1 down for the Red Sox.
Maybe finally the momentum pitching-wise that Cotuit was looking for, getting that first out finally. Casey Cook at the plate, first pitch to him. Sails high and away for ball 1. Third base coming in, Josh Pine on the grass for Cook. We've seen Cotuit play him that way all game. Casey is 0 for 3, flew out to left his last time. 1-0, pitch on the way. Right down the middle, called strike 1. Cook had a almost steadfast stance in the box. Didn't look like he had the swing sign, almost taking all the way. So Scott Pickler trying to make Chase Hopewell throw strikes here. 1-1 offering. Fouled off, just got a piece of it, and it goes back to the backstop. It's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Casey Cook. Hopewell nods, sets his front foot. A long look at second, and now throws. And he spiked it. Knocked down quickly by Loma Vita. He gets to it to the right of the home plate area, and it's 2-2. This is a save situation for Chase Hopewell, who came up to the mound with the tying run on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. A look back at second from Hopewell. Now he fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brought it over the outside half. Got Cook maybe to chase a little bit, and it's back-to-back strikeouts out of the bullpen for Chase Hopewell. The Red Sox are down to their final out, and for the first time in a couple of days, we will see Will King at the plate batting for Connor Dykstra. King was dealing with a hand injury. Still has a bit of tape around that thumb that he got jammed up on a couple of days ago, but he's going to tough it out and try and keep this game alive for YD with R.J. Austin in the top of the order on deck. First and second, 2 outs. Hopewell's first pitch to Will King. On the way. Check swing, appeal on to first, and they say no swing as the pitch misses high and tight for ball 1. King can get on base. That would bring R.J. Austin to the plate as the tying run. Hopewell with his front foot just a little bit towards third base. Looks at second, leaning back. He lifts the knee and fires. Twirled back to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike. If Hopewell could hold on to this, it would be his first save of the season. He's come in a lot of decisive games. He's 3-1. He's received decisions in 4 of his 5 appearances, all out of the bullpen. 1-1 to King on the way. Again fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Will King is one of the most exciting batters in this lineup. He has a penchant for late inning hits, particularly in clutch moments.
Crowd revving up here from Lowell Park. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Hopewell nods, looks back at second, and fires. Breaking ball away. Good take by King, and it's 2-2. King, guy that we know doesn't strike out very much. Rarely even see him in a 2-strike count because of how aggressive he is at the plate. Went after both pitches that were strikes and fouled them both off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hopewell kicks and deals. Down low for ball 3. And now the runners will be off with the pitch. Full count, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Cotuit trying to close out a 6-2 win over YD. Red Sox playing for their lives here, with their heads barely above water atop the East Division. Payoff to King on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. King goes chasing down low, and the ball game is over. Chase Hopewell comes in for Cotuit and slams the door on the Red Sox, who were putting together a bit of a rally in the 9th inning, and he collects the save, his first of the year, as the Kettleers continue to prove why they deserve to be the top team in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 14th win of the season for Cotuit. They're now 14-6 on the year. They'll have the day off tomorrow before taking on Falmouth on the road in a couple of nights for YD. They drop to 11-8-1. And will have to hold their breath for the next couple of days. It looks unlikely that the Red Sox will stay atop the division, although the game has been retied between Harwich and Hyannis. The Mariners just need 1 point out of their next 2 games to at least tie for the division lead. Perri, this was a late rally for YD, but really just can't leave things to the 9th when you're in a game like this against the top team in the league in Cotuit. They've got so much pitching on their back end. If you're leaving it to your offense to try and put together that big inning in their final chance, it's just probably not going to happen. The middle innings really killed YD, and it was the free passes once again on the pitching side that hurt them.
9 walks for YD and a hit by pitch to go along with it. The second time in the last 3 days that YD has been double digits in free passes, and that's been the difference. The last few days, it's just been flipping on and off for the pitching. Really solid performance, and then not so solid performance the next day, and that kind of inconsistency is what's kept YD from pulling away with the lead at the top of the East Division, and now they just have to sit on their heels and wait. As you said, Luke, really unlikely that they'll go into the 4th of July game on Tuesday with that lead in the East. But Cotuit, on the other hand, it's definitely a choice to bring in 8 pitchers out of the bullpen, but when it works out like this against a hitting team that we know and we've seen can be so strong up and down the lineup, to hold a team like that to just 3 hits, they only had 4 hits yesterday as well. Hopefully for YD, the off day can give the team some well-needed rest, reset, and come back with a new mindset, attacking a new team on Tuesday.
Tuesday, the Red Sox will take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That game from McKeon Park on the 4th of July. It will be a 6 p.m. start as Eric Yost takes on Hayden Frank. We hope you will tune in then. Final line score of this game, Cotuit wins it. 6 runs off, 7 hits, no errors, and 7 left for the Kettleers, and for YD, 2 runs off of 3 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base. And that will wrap things up here from Lowell Park, as we thank you so much for tuning in. As the final score, Cotuit 6 and YD 2. We'll see you in a couple of nights. From my partner Perri, Kitei, our entire crew, Luke West, Poley saying so long. Happy 4th of July weekend. We'll be back on July 4th as the Red Sox take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.